Welcome back, everybody. It's Sarcasm Speaks, Jared and Bob here. We've got I guess we could take a loser lap for this one. I can take a loser lap and join you, I guess, in your loserdom. Um, Typically when we do this, it's because of the death pool, right? So this is similar. Something has died, but it's not a person, although I'm sure plenty of people have died today because there's 8 billion people in the world, and millions of them die every day. Um, my ability to tolerate lactose has died. So I don't think anyone had that in the death pool this year. So that was a miss. And yeah, now I am a fucking loser because I can no longer have any milk products. Well, the milk products that have high lactose in them. Lactase is the enzyme. Tose is the sugar. So I I first noticed this like I don't know, at this point maybe like a month ago. Um and it had been going for a couple weeks where I, I eventually was like something's off, right? Cuz I'm having, for lack of a better term, awful shits, right? So just not good, right? And occasionally it happens right here and there. You eat something that's maybe a little too spicy there, something didn't agree with you there. It happens, right? It's a semi-regular thing. But it was happening so frequently that I was like, this isn't normal. Like I shouldn't be doing this. And I think that lasted for probably like 2 weeks. Um, and then I was like, I think I need to start paying closer attention to what I'm actually eating. So that was like a couple days before we left for the wedding, right? So I was like, I was starting to kind of pay attention to it, and my first thought was, um, oh, am I using too much hot sauce on everything, right? Because like I've said before, I make my own hot sauce. I use my own hot sauce now. Um, and I'm like, am I using it too much? Am I putting it on too many things? Is the shelf life not as long as what I thought it would be? Because like the shelf life on hot sauce should be months, like months and months, between the capsaicin and the pH levels and just everything that's in it, right? Like it's supposed to be shelf stable, especially if it's kept in the fridge, for I would safely say about 6 months, right? Before I would be concerned. So, I'm like, oh, maybe it's that. I don't know. But then the wedding came and the vacation came, and I was kind of like, stop paying attention, right? I just kind of like deal with weird shits. Um, so a couple days here and there, whatever. And then one of the days when we were on vacation, we went to Sunday school. So I miraculously, or non-miraculously, I don't know. When you guys had the Sunday school ice cream at the wedding, I didn't actually have any. Did no particular reason. I was just like, nah, I'm good. I'll just keep drinking. I don't need ice cream. Just drink some more, whatever I was drinking. So didn't have any there, but we did go to Sunday school one of the days where maybe like Tuesday or something. And I got a coffee Oreo frap, which, if you know, you don't need to know Sunday school, but if you know anything about a frap, like they're pretty big, right? They're in like a 16-ounce cup, right? Probably the equivalent to like a medium iced coffee at most places. Uh, so I sucked that thing down, and then probably around 11:30, this is at night, like after we had gone to bed, I woke up with the most intense stomach pain. It felt like I had a knife stuck right above my belly button. I was like, I don't know what this is. I'm like sweating. I'm laying in bed. Again, Amy's asleep. The baby's asleep. I'm sweating, freaking out, being like, I can't get comfortable. Like, this is awful. Like, this hurts so fucking bad. And the first thing I have is, oh shit, is it my appendix? Because like that's how it starts. Like when your appendix is bursting, the pain starts right above your belly button, and then it travels over to the side. It moves over to the right side. So PSA for anyone that's out there, if you have extreme abdominal pain and then all of a sudden it moves to like a side pain, call an ambulance immediately because it's probably your appendix, and you can die if your appendix like actually blows up. Um, so I'm like, shit, is it my appendix? So then I'm like trying to like, no, you're fine. Like, what the fuck is this? I don't know. So I'm laying there and I'm laying there. It feels like probably an hour, hour and a half, and like the pain's not moving. So I'm like, okay, I think I'm okay. I don't think I need to call an ambulance at, you know, 1 a.m. on my vacation in a random cottage on the Cape. I'm like, all right. So I finally fell back to sleep. I woke up the next morning, and a murder scene doesn't do it justice to what went on in that bathroom in the morning. And mid extreme defecation, I was like, oh shit. I wonder if I'm lactose intolerant. Because up until that point, I hadn't even considered it. Right. I was like, I don't know, something's weird. Like this, like I said, I thought it was a hot sauce. Then I was like, because I'm already sensitive to soy. Is it something else? I don't know what's going on, whatever. And I go, oh shit. I wonder if it's lactose. So after that, I just kind of like went about the day doing whatever, paid a little bit closer attention, tried to stay away from cheese. And then we went back to Sunday school, I think Thursday night, because we left on Friday. And I got a small like black raspberry ice cream, and I only ate a couple bites of it because the baby threw up everywhere as he was sitting in his stroller. We're like right by the picnic tables in the front. Amy's eating her ice cream. I'm eating mine. I get like a few bites in, and he just fucking pukes all over himself, all over the stroller. So we're like, all right, we're done. We're going home. Luckily it was a quick walk. So we just, it was like a 5-minute walk back to the house. We cleaned everything up. And we're all good to go. But then later on that night, I had like a similar stomach pain. Not as bad because I obviously didn't eat as much ice cream. And when I woke up with that like faint stomach pain in the same spot, I was like, yep, yeah, that's what it is. It's 100%. I'm lactose intolerant now. So I made it 32 years, and seemingly out of nowhere, like randomly, like I said, over the last month, it just kind of popped up. And now you want to talk, I'm preaching to the choir here. I know, because you've had a long time at this, but intestinal turmoil doesn't really do it justice either, to say what was going on for like the last 2-3 weeks before I figured it out.
Pretty awesome, actually.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because the other thing is, like, some people are like, oh, I'm lactose intolerant. I just don't care. I'm like, then you're not.
Yeah, then
Because
you're not.
there's really not a lot of, like, wiggle room here.
Yep.
Well, sucks to suck. Welcome to the club.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I do know just from obviously living with you and Dickie that cheddar is a safe cheese, right? But then I looked up like um hard aged cheeses. So like Parmesan is fine. Pecorino Romano, like anything that's typically hard and aged for a long time, because the longer it's aged, the more the lactose gets broken down by bacteria. But mozzarella is a no-fly zone.
Well, so this is where it comes back to, though. It's not that you can't have any of it.
Right.
It's once you get above the threshold, that's when you're in trouble.
Right.
And I forget what it used to be, but like 8 ounces of milk, like, is the threshold. Or I'm sorry, it's over the threshold, because back in the day, that used to be the test. Like, drink 8 ounces of milk, and if it fucking fucks you up, then you're lactose intolerant.
Yeah.
So, like, ice cream, milk, those are obviously higher or more concentrated because you're more likely to eat more of it. Like, it would take you, like, mozzarella is probably like high, but what are you going to do? Sit there and eat a ball of mozzarella? Like,
Yeah. I'm not gonna eat a whole
It's fucking
log.
crazy.
Yeah.
And then to your point with some of the harder cheeses, like again, so like mozzarella, like still wet,
Right.
is gonna
Some
fuck
wet
you up.
mutts.
It's gonna fuck you up more than the shit out of the bag.
Right. Right.
Plus, you can get some of like the part skim stuff,
Yep.
whatever.
Yep.
And that's the thing. It's like you're not drinking milk anyway because you're not fucking seven.
Exactly.
So ice cream is the big one, and then you just gotta like know like if you house a pizza like early in the day, like dude, you're not also eating like more shit, mac
Yeah.
and cheese.
Right. Right. Yeah. So I mean I did buy I just got them on Amazon, like those lactate pills. And it's funny because I know in the past you've been like, yeah, those don't fucking work. That's stupid. And they they basically don't work, right? So like they
Well,
kind of do.
every time I took a lactate pill and then ate ice cream, like
Yeah.
my stomach would still hurt.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm sitting there and I'm like, well, I still don't feel good.
Right. Right.
Like it's not the same. Like it doesn't run right through you.
So that's what I will say is like
Well, like I
I've
still don't.
taken the lactate pills a couple times, just like whether we had pizza or like I made mashed potatoes, and obviously I put milk in mashed potatoes and all that shit. So I'm like I ate the lactate pills when I had some of those things, and it's like exactly what you said. So it's not like I'm not running to the bathroom to shit my brains out, but I still don't really feel great afterwards.
No,
So it basically just prevents explosive diarrhea.
pretty much.
Unless you take probably like three of them. Right? Like if you took like two before you ate and then you took one when you finished eating, maybe you'd be okay. But like at that point, what's the point?
Again, it's just like, especially now, there's so many types of dairy-free ice cream. Again, I'm not drinking milk.
Yeah.
I'm not a child. Uh, I mean, other than that, like, what are you getting? Mac and cheese, you got to be careful on. Pizza. I mean, the other thing too is when you're housing pizza, like, there's also a fucking general understanding here that you're not gonna
Yeah.
feel good.
Yeah. If you eat six slices of pizza,
Like,
whether you're lactose intolerant or not, you're not gonna feel
yeah, I was
fucking
gonna say, like, when
good.
was the last time you ate a whole pizza? Do you even remember?
Probably in Mansfield.
Okay, so at least 3 years ago. So over 3 years ago,
Yeah.
ate a whole pizza. Did you feel fucking spectacular after?
Definitely not.
No, I ate 5 slices of pizza the other day, and I didn't feel spectacular.
Yeah, yeah. That's what I mean.
Um,
Like if you keep it to like three, four slices, you're probably gonna be good. But
but it
once
wasn't
you
like a lactose issue on the five.
well,
It
no,
was a
it's
quantity
just
of
you feel
pizza.
like shit. Yeah, you just feel like shit because you ate too much
Yeah, it's
because you're a
quantity of
fucking
food
glutton.
and fucking uh whatever the Fisher's Island drinks.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, 5 pizza and 5 of those. It's like fuck, there's a battle down there, and I did fucking losing.
I ain't coming out of that one.
No.
So yeah, like a couple of slices of pizza, you're fine. You're good. But yeah, the mac and cheese is one that I haven't really navigated yet.
So I will say, fuck.
Well, because part
Uh,
of it makes me wonder too, like, is it even real cheese?
is what?
Like the cheese in mac and cheese. Like if you
It's
get
not
it
the
out of a
cheese that gets
box.
you, it's the milk.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. True. Well, I mean, I would just use butter and maybe just put like a splash of milk.
So, oh, fuck, I don't know what it was. I'll have to look at Market Basket the next time I'm there. I got a dairy-free half and half or light cream or something,
Okay.
and I used that to make mashed potatoes. And the problem you'll run into when you go to look at that section is everything's flavored,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
none of it's flavored in a way that you want.
yeah. Because if it's dairy free, then they have to put some kind of flavoring in it to make it not taste like fucking almond
Nothing.
water,
Yeah.
which is
So,
which is what it is.
well, that's what almond milk is
That
anyway.
is. It's just almond water,
But also that shit's too loose. Uh,
like your poops.
I want to say it was like $4 or $5 for this small thing of it, but I mean, you don't need a lot.
Yeah,
If I see it again, I'll probably buy it and I'll send you a picture
yeah,
because you can make mac and cheese with that. That would be fine. And like I said, that one actually tasted neutral, but it also tasted a little bit like cream, not like
yeah.
someone soaked a bunch of almonds and ran it through cheesecloth.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's a good point too. Like anytime if I make mac and cheese from scratch, yeah, that's going to be an issue. But that's what I mean, like mac and cheese out of a box. Like, is that even enough real
No, out of
anything?
a box. There's not even
Yeah, I
real.
feel
It's barely food.
yeah, I feel like I would be fine.
Yeah, the box. Yeah, don't worry about a box.
Because we usually buy I don't know if you ever seen them, but it's called Goodles. It's like Gal Gadot actually owns the company or founded the company or something. I don't know. But it's like it's allegedly right again. It's a mac and cheese out of a box here, so let's fucking slow your roll. But it's allegedly like a healthier alternative to like a like a Kraft or a Cracker Barrel or something like that. Because it's like higher in protein. It uses real ingredients. Again, this is all like
It's in a box.
exactly. Yeah, it's still out of a box, right? It's still not better than if you made it yourself from scratch.
It's also not better than a vegetable.
That's true. Yeah. Yeah. Which is we get into my favorite part of anything when I love when people go, "Oh, is it good for you? Is this
Yeah.
good for you?" Yeah. Yeah, it's great. You should just eat 12 of them. See what
Compared to what?
happens. Yeah.
Yeah. Good for
Yeah.
you compared to what?
Yeah. Is it good for you?
I
Exactly.
don't
Compared to
know.
what? I don't know. It's probably better than sucking down a barrel of a shotgun.
You know what?
Like,
You know what pisses people off too when they're like, "Oh, is that like good or is that?" It's like, "Oh, is mac and cheese bad?" I'm like, pretty sure mac and cheese doesn't like rob banks or participate in gang activity. It's not bad. What the
yeah.
fuck? Like, what kind of shit is that?
Yeah. Is this bad? Well, I
Yeah, it's
mean,
bad because it does graffiti under the train underpass.
and under
Like,
the right context, like broccoli is bad, right? Like if you only eat broccoli, then it's bad because
or
you're
if
not
you,
getting any other
yeah,
nutrients.
or if you like bread it and fry it,
Yeah. Yeah.
not that good.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. There's way too much to all that shit. Oh, this is healthy. Oh, really? What does that mean? What does healthy mean?
Nothing.
Yeah, nothing. Yeah. So but I mean that's a marketing thing, right? That's the whole
Yeah.
Goodles. I don't know if it's called Goodles or Goodles. I never know how to say it, but people
Oodles and
probably see
doodles.
it or like, oh, it's healthy. No, it's still mac and cheese out of a box. It's still powdered cheese, instant cheese that you're adding to dried pasta, right? Like I wouldn't call that healthy. Is it healthier than again the blue box? Probably, but
You know what though? It still might not be.
yeah, yeah, it could. Yeah, that's a possibility too.
Well, I mean, because I did this with someone. They've been doing like the Barilla protein pasta,
Yeah,
and they showed me like, oh, I've been doing this, like, is that like way better? I go, well, better than what?
right.
And he's like, well, regular pasta. I go, well, yeah, it's better than regular pasta. I go, but don't let it fool you because it's still the same amount of calories, so it's not like you can eat
Right.
all of it. Like that doesn't work. 2.5 ounces of dry mix, 2.5 ounce dry mix. Dude, they're gonna be like the same fucking thing.
Yeah, it's the exact same.
All you did was change. Hold on. So you add a gram of fat, you lose a gram of carbohydrate, and you add 5 grams of protein. Does that math even work? That doesn't even work.
No,
So someone here is lying.
yeah,
It can't be 260 calories each.
yeah,
That
that doesn't check out.
Yeah, that doesn't check out like at all.
No.
1 cup prepared. 1 cup prepared. What do they want you to prepare it with? Water? It has to be. It only adds 10
Yeah,
calories.
yeah.
There you
But
have it.
like some of that shit is weird to me anyway. Like that protein pasta. It's like, how are they doing that? Like what are they doing? What are they doing?
That's the thing.
Because
Truthfully, I have no
like
clue.
grains are grains, right? Like it's supposed to be carbohydrate, right? Like don't try and like finagle something and be like, oh, this is protein pasta. This has more protein. It's like, what did they have to do to that grain chemically, right? Like to add protein, because
Well,
naturally in the wild, grains are just grains.
but you're breaking it down too far because pasta ultimately is flour, egg. Sometimes you mix in some oil, whatever. But like
Yeah, yeah,
effectively, that's all it is. So you could have a flour that has a higher protein concentrate, or you could just mix in some flavorless whey. Like that's
yeah,
possible too.
yeah.
And it probably doesn't change not the chemical composition, the physical
Right,
composition of the dough. And it would
right.
probably be fine. The only problem is I've never had it. Everyone says it tastes like shit.
Yeah.
And anyone
And
who has kids, they're like, oh, yeah, try this. And they're like, no,
no.
this tastes like shit.
And then I forget what the company name is. It's like, I want to say Bunzai, but it's not Bunzai because that would be in poor taste. Um, but it's like Banza or like Bana or something like that. It's like the chickpea pasta. That actually I saw just tested or set the record for the most glyphosate in a product that's ever been tested by like third party testers.
Would you like to explain what that
Glyphosate is it's Roundup, basically.
Nice.
Yeah, yeah. So it's a just the pesticide that they spray on plants.
Right. So is it
And
good for you?
yeah, so, yeah, so is it good for you? Yeah. So in that case, the Banza chickpea pasta, is it good for you? Yeah. Just go out back and grab that bottle of Roundup and just chug it. So just
That's
do
how
the
we go.
job
That's how we
quicker.
go from A to C without going to B first.
Yeah, skip right over B. Who cares? So yeah, that's my lactose story. That was a long way around.
Believe, what did you used to call it? Was it were we inferior genetically? I don't remember anymore.
Yeah,
Well,
inferior
welcome to the
genetics, I
club.
think. Yeah, yeah, that's what I get for talking
Your
shit
uh
all
your
those
your
years.
membership's coming in the mail.
I can't wait. It'll be like my AAA card.
Yep.
Put it right next to that in my wallet.
Yep.
But like you want to talk about absolute nightmare now, like having to like go out to restaurants and shit. Like,
Okay.
because I can't
No,
have
it's
soy. Now I'm lactose intolerant. And it's like, I don't want to be this fucking dickhead that's like, oh, what's in this? What do you make that with?
okay. So this is how this works. You can still go out. You just have to not be retarded, which is going to be tough, I know.
Yeah.
So there will be dishes like if you go to an Italian place.
You can scratch fettuccine Alfredo off the list.
Fettuccine Alfredo, most places they don't make it the right way. So most of the time it's not going to be okay. Uh, but if there's carbonara, any type of red, anything, like, yeah, it's
Right.
all good. Like a vodka sauce, that's going to be tough. But,
Yeah.
and like a bolognese can go either way because sometimes it's got milk, sometimes it does not, or sometimes it has cream in the sauce. You never
Yeah.
fucking know there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you just use your brain and then you'll figure out what you can and can't go with.
Yeah.
And there'll be times where you might get it wrong. Oh, well.
You just deal with it.
Yeah, that's it.
But I mean, like you said too, there's a threshold there too, right? So like
Yeah.
if you go get a bacon cheeseburger somewhere, one slice of cheese on the burger isn't gonna
Not
like
even gonna fucking tip the scales
evacuate
here.
your fucking lower intestine.
Barely. Most, and that's the thing is like if you get that shit from somewhere, most of the time the cheese is fake anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. Although I will say American cheese, not great. That's
Yeah, you're gonna need to find your way into some cheddar.
yeah, oh no, I'm a cheddar guy. But like when you go to like if you go to a restaurant, like the standard cheese is American cheese. But so
It's not that hard to navigate.
no, it's not.
It's also like the Jim Jeffries special. Fromage me.
Yeah.
Like, you have a certain amount of time, so as long as you get out of there and get home in time, you're good.
Yeah, that's true too. Yeah, like yeah, no, we're good. We're fine. I'll have a cheesecake for dessert and then just run home and speed back home.
Like, that's where things start to get tough
Yeah.
because cheesecake, you're really not gonna want to get that out.
Yeah, can I get a slice of cheesecake to go so I can
People
just
do it.
eat it? I'll eat it in the bathroom.
People, yeah. Well, especially you eat it in your living room, then the bathroom's right there.
Yeah. Like, hey, you're not going to need the bathroom for the next like 45 minutes, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to eat a piece of cheesecake. And it could be go time anytime.
Yeah. It's annoying, but it's really not that bad.
No, no. It'll be fine. So, something that, I mean, could have been fine. We don't know. We weren't there. That I saw not too long ago on Twitter. Someone found this or it was posted in the locker room of a golf course that they visited or something. And what it was so they were in England, right? The actual plaque is from Richmond Golf Club in Surrey, England, dated 1940. So I don't know if someone like went to Richmond Golf Club and this was just like hanging in the locker room or something like that, or it was somewhere else. Regardless, someone put this on Twitter, and at the very top of the page or the plaque here, it says the temporary wartime golf rules.
Oh, I've
So
seen that before.
yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
So again, bottom of the page being 1940 in England, kind of a tough time to be in England. So uh if you weren't fighting in the war and you were out playing golf, there are some rules that you needed to abide by. So the first one, rule number one, uh, players are asked to collect bomb and shrapnel splinters to save these causing damage to the mowing machines. So if you're on the course and you happen to see some shrapnel, please pick it up and discard it. Basically, is what they're saying because it's gonna fuck up the lawnmowers. So that's good, right? Just on the course, and you see a fucking piece of shrapnel sticking out of the fairway. Number two, in competitions during gunfire or while bombs are falling, players may take cover without penalty for ceasing play. I want to know who the fuck is playing golf when there's just gunfire and bombs being dropped overhead. Maybe
I know
maybe don't
people who
golf
would
that
be.
day.
I
Yeah,
know
maybe.
people who would be. They don't miss, so they'd be out there.
Yeah, I mean, whatever, I guess. So, rule number 3. The positions of known delayed action bombs are marked by red flags at a reasonably but not guaranteed safe distance therefrom. So the mines that we buried in the ground, we marked them at a reasonably but not guaranteed safe distance away. So don't go stepping on any landmines while you're on the course, please. Rule number 4. Shrapnel and or bomb splinters on the fairways or in bunkers within a club's length of a ball may be moved without penalty, and no penalty shall be incurred if a ball is thereby caused to move accidentally. So just don't mind that shrapnel. You can move your ball away from it. You're allowed if it's within one club
Well, you got to
length.
pick it up too.
Well, yeah, yeah, that's true too. See
It'll
rule
fuck up
number
the
1.
mower. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Rule number 5. This one might be my favorite one. A ball moved by enemy action may be replaced, or if lost or destroyed, a ball may be dropped not nearer to the hole without penalty.
Or destroyed. Imagine that. Your ball got destroyed, implying that it got blown up.
Yeah.
And you go, hey, I know you guys are like, setting up here, but like, can I play through?
I know that bomb just got dropped in the middle of the fairway and there's a crater. So yeah, I get one club length behind the crater, right?
Yep. Nearest point of relief.
Yep, with no penalty. Without penalty. No, not nearer the hole without penalty. That's got to be my favorite one on the list. By enemy action. Rule number 6 is a ball lying in a crater. Jesus, there we go. A ball lying in a crater may be lifted and dropped not nearer to the hole, preserving the line to the hole without penalty. So,
I think that there's not penalties for this stuff.
yeah, yeah, that's nice. They're very generous.
Yeah.
And then rule number 7. A player whose stroke is affected by the simultaneous explosion of a bomb may play another ball from the same place. Penalty is 1 stroke. So you do get a penalty for that. So if a bomb goes off in your backswing, you're allowed to take a drop and only 1 stroke penalty.
You know what? That probably was an issue. Like the
Yeah,
head pro back in the day probably had to answer questions regarding that.
yeah, yeah. Oh, what happens if there's an explosion in my
Well, was it
backswing?
in his backswing or right before his back? Oh, it was right before his backswing, not during. Oh God.
So there you go. Those are the 7 temporary wartime golf rules at Richmond Golf Club in Surrey, England in 1940. Those are pretty good.
It'd be weird to like have your country be at war and you're just out like trying to play 18 holes. Especially like
Yeah.
in London, which was getting fucking blown up.
Yeah, it had to have been old guys, right?
Yeah, because anyone
Or
young enough probably would have been drafted or would have served.
or people that are like back from the war, right? Like if they just did like 6 months and now they're coming back for like, 6 weeks, because that's probably how it went in World War II. There was none of this like 4 months deployed, 4 months home, or 4 months deployed, 6 months home. It was probably you were at war for
Wow.
6 months and you got maybe four weeks to go home
Dude, I wouldn't be surprised if you're at war, like
until they
you're at
say the
war until
war's
it's fucking
over.
over.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
either you die or the war ends.
yeah. But yeah, I mean, I would imagine, like I said, it's got to be mostly old people or anyone that's back home from the war. But yeah, that's some commitment. Your
Yeah.
country is being bombed by the Germans, and you're like, I think I'm gonna go play 18 today.
Yeah, I got a tea time. Think maybe you want to stay inside or go to a bomb shelter. Nah, I'll be outside. It'll be fine.
Nah, I'll be fine. They won't drop bombs on a golf course. Why would they do that?
Right. Doesn't make any sense. There's no people.
Yeah.
Or not enough people, really.
Yeah. So yeah, I thought that was pretty good when I saw that on Twitter.
Yeah, I have seen that before.
Um, couple other things that were pretty good actually, where we just watched a couple movies over the last week. One of them was Beekeeper, which is that it's a newer movie with Jason Statham.
Okay. I think I've heard
Um,
maybe I haven't heard of this. I don't know.
yeah, it probably just came out within the last, I want to say like 6 to 9 months. Like it might have came out in like January of this year. Um, let me see if I can figure it out. Beekeeper movie when the release date was. Yeah, it says 2024. Yeah, January 12th, 2024. So it did come out this year. That I thought was a really good movie. It was a classic Jason Statham, right? Like it's, you know, kind of similar to John Wick type of style where like there's some plot to it, right? And there is a secondary story, but there's no like romance. I mean, I always go back to you like Gray Man, using the Gray Man movie as an example. Now I do like the movie. Um, but the one thing that prevents Gray Man from being like John Wick level good is like the unnecessary like love interest, right? Like I don't need it. You don't need to like I get what they're doing, right? Like you're trying to appeal to a bigger audience and have women want to watch it and like it. And it's I think Anna de Armas is the woman in the movie. So like I know what you're doing, right? Because come to find out, that wasn't like that in the books. Because I listened to a Joe Rogan podcast where the author of the Gray Man series was on, and they talked about the differences and things like that. So like whatever. But there's none of that weird, goofy love romance stuff in Beekeeper. Although there is like a secondary plot. It's not just you know a pure John Wick, Keanu Reeves killing people for 90 minutes. Um, but it's pretty good. I actually really liked it. There's it was based in and around Massachusetts, kind of more so in Boston, but some other places in the state. So it's kind of cool just to like see some of the scenes and be like, oh shit, like that's that bridge in Cambridge that I drive over or whatever. Um, but yeah, I mean, I would recommend it. It's free right now on Amazon Prime, so if you have Prime Video, you can watch it. But again, I thought that was pretty good. Um, and then the other one was the shit. What is it called? The extreme weight. No, the unbearable weight of massive talent, which is the Nicolas Cage movie where he plays himself. Uh, that was pretty hilarious. That was a pretty good movie. It was surprisingly a good movie. It was one of those where like afterwards, like Amy turned to me and she was like, "That was kind of a good movie." And I was like, "Yeah, it actually kind of was a pretty good movie. Like it was it's got what the fuck's the guy's name? Pedro Pascal. He's in it. I think that's really the only other big name that's in it. Um, but it is like sneaky really good. I don't know what that's on. That might be on. No, that was Peacock. That one was on Peacock. So shout out to Jones for letting me use his Peacock and being able to watch that. But um yeah, so those two movies are really good, right? Both very different. But if you're in the mood for like a good action movie with like again a decent plot, Beekeeper, and then the unbearable weight of massive talent is just just a good movie. Like it's one of those. It's just good. You laugh. You're like kind of on the edge of your seat at some points. Like it's a solid watch. So
Nicolas
Uh,
Cage, huh?
yeah, Nicolas Cage. Goddamn Nicolas Cage. Who knew? I actually didn't know that he invented a style of acting. Like he invented his own style of acting. Let me see if I can find it really quick.
Still my favorite thing from South Park when it was Kangaskhan or Genghis Khan was a Mongolian. Nicolas Cage is a Mongoloid.
Yeah,
And
it's
since
called
then,
Nouveau Shamanic. I don't know specifically, but Nouveau Shamanic is a style of acting developed by Nicolas Cage. It is to increase one's imagination without restraint in avoidance of experiencing the sense of being ingenuous. That
that's quite a word salad.
sounds like a lot of words that don't really mean anything.
Didn't say anything. Nothing.
Yeah. The process itself is about how do you augment your imagination in a healthy way so that you can believe you're these characters. You don't feel like you're acting, you feel like you're being. Okay, pal. So it's basically method acting.
Isn't that just acting?
Yeah. Like that's the whole um Daniel Day-Lewis. Like he's a method actor.
No,
Like
it's
when
different because it's Nicolas Cage. He
yeah,
invented it.
yeah, Nicolas Cage invented it. I don't really understand how it's different than method acting, but I'm sure there's something about it.
I was gonna say, luckily you're not an actor or an
Yeah.
acting expert.
Oh, this is good. Here's a quote from someone. This defined Nicolas Cage as, quote, the only actor since Marlon Brando that's actually done anything new with the art of acting.
All right.
So you got Marlon Brando and Nicolas Cage. There you have it. Because I
Nicolas
think
Cage
did
was a Coppola.
yeah, or is a Coppola.
That's true. Because I don't think he legally changed his name to Cage.
Yeah.
I
Which
don't
I
think.
also found out he did that for Luke Cage. He used to read the Luke Cage comics as a kid. So when he changed his name, he went Nick instead of Nicholas Coppola, he's Nick Cage. So who knew?
Not me.
Yeah. So did Marlon Brando invent method acting? Brando is credited with being one of the first actors to bring the Stanislavski system of acting. What the fuck is the Stanislavski? If I find out that's just method acting,
What if none of this is method acting?
if Stanislavski system is a systemic approach to training actors that the Russian theater practitioner Konstantin Stanislavski developed in the first half of the 20th century. His system cultivates what he calls the art of experiencing. That sounds like method acting. You become the character. Yeah, that's so apparently uh the formal name for method acting is the Stanislavski method. So there
Yeah,
you
it
have it.
is.
Yeah.
I just found it on Wikipedia.
So Marlon Brando obviously didn't invent it because Stanislavski invented it, but he was the first US actor to bring it from Russia, probably.
Yeah.
So
This whole thing's not. I'm Xing out of that. That whole thing's fucking stupid.
yeah, talk about things that like don't matter,
Yeah, doesn't matter.
like the style of acting.
Doesn't matter one bit.
Yeah, no, don't care. Um, all right. Well, you want to wrap this up? You got anything else?
We can wrap this up.
All right.
Uh, So you know about this because I texted about it. So 4th of July was Thursday. This is coming out on a Monday. So a series of unfortunate circumstances. So we got our power back. And I believe it was the same day that Michaela's cousin, they had a fire in the basement. So plumber was there for a leak. His soldering equipment or his welding equipment caught on fire. And I think it burned through the electric panel and fucking big mess. So they are displaced for
The plumber started a fire. The guy who works with
yeah,
water started a fire. Got it.
right.
The only thing we're missing is Venusaur.
Correct. So they're
Or
displaced,
Bulbasaur?
trying to figure that shit out. Which I don't know which one are you trying to look which one are you looking for here?
I guess they're all in this. They're all one and the
Bulbasaur is
same.
the first evolution.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bulbasaur, Ivysaur, Venusaur.
Yeah, there it is.
Okay. Um so 4th of July, we're supposed to be going to her other cousins. They're his brother. So he's got COVID and is actually sick. So morning of the 4th of July, Michaela and I run out to Target. She buys like a bunch of shit for the pool. We run to Wegmans, buy a bunch of food because we told them like, come by, we'll go to the pool because we have like the community pool that I always forget that we have. And just goes to show how much of a shit show everything is just at all times now. Like absolutely everything. Like seriously, a fucking house fire. Like you
Yeah.
shitting me.
Yeah.
And then like, hey, can you throw a 4th of July together in like 4 seconds? Sure can.
Yeah. You
So
got
we
about
get out of the
3.5 hours.
so we get out of the pool and I'm about to set up one of my smokers. I was gonna set up as a grill because I can lower the grates and all that shit, whatever. Feel one, feel two, raindrops. I go, no fucking way. I am not fucking doing this. So my charcoal hadn't started yet. So I just let the paper die out, got that out of the way, put the smoker back in storage, closed everything up, and like then the skies open up. So I'm back inside and I'm like cooking wings and burgers and hot dogs in the house. And I'm like, it doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter. I can cook this shit anywhere.
Yeah.
And I look back outside and it's clear. And I'm like, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. Look outside. I don't know. So I cooked the dogs in like a cast iron pan. I cooked the wings under the broil, or I had already cooked the wings up. So I threw some honey on top of them and added more dry rub.
Mhm.
So I just threw it under the broiler. And then as I put the burgers on the pan, I look back outside and the sky's open back up again. So I'm like, thank God. But yeah, what an absolute debacle. Just how like, everything just is a shit show at all times,
Yeah, always.
forever.
Yeah. Yeah, that happened. I was cooking burgers and dogs on the Blackstone, and then it just started raining. And I was like, oh, that's fun.
Yep.
Yep. But yeah. I mean, it's funny. I mean, I know I said to you, I never really understood why there's a difference like in the commercial construction world as to why there's a difference between plumbers and pipe fitters. And now seeing a residential plumber start a fire with a welder, I understand why there's two separate things in the commercial sector now. Like I said, the residential world probably doesn't really matter. Um, but when you're dealing with like multi-million dollar, in some cases billion-dollar buildings like that just got built, um, you probably don't want to trust a putter. You don't want to trust a putter to do a driver's job. Uh, you don't want to trust a plumber to do a pipe fitter's job.
Yeah, and like you got to imagine the bigger plumbing companies probably have somebody that like probably not from the union, but
Yeah.
someone who knows what the fuck they're doing.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then but that's why I think I don't know if it might have been soldering equipment because for a regular plumber to break out a welder seems like a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. It could
But you
be.
never know.
Yeah. Who knows?
I don't.
But yeah. It's funny because like, I go through like we move this shit, right? So like I go through walkthroughs with construction people and I'm like, all right, well, we got to move this, stability chamber or whatever it is. And it's got a hard pipe into it that brings water or gas or whatever it brings in. And the construction PM is like, oh yeah, well, okay. All right, yeah, well, I gotta call both because I gotta get the plumber in here to do the disconnect, and then I gotta get the pipe fitter here to actually pull the stuff apart and then close it off. And I remember being like, they're not the same thing. And he goes, technically they're from the same company, but they're different branches. It's like plumbers do one thing, plumbers plumb, and pipe fitters do pipes. I was like, thanks for that breakdown, pal. So
Almost like, well, if the pipe fitters do the pipes, what are the plumbers doing?
yeah, yeah, what are the actual plumbers doing? So yeah, you gotta call a plumber to come flip a valve, turn the valve from on to off. Like I could do that.
I mean, you can call one to come light a fire in your basement if you want.
Yeah, that's true too. My final thought is that it has to do with food, right? So today I smoked some lollipops, so some chicken drumstick lollipops. Um, I was at Market Basket yesterday and they didn't have chicken wings, which is like a semi-regular thing. Like they don't always have chicken wings. Um, but they always have drumsticks, they always have chicken thighs and stuff like that. So I mean, I usually just get thighs anyway. They're superior to chicken breast. Um, but I saw the big pack of drumsticks and I was like, you know what? I think I'm gonna make some lollipops. So I've never made it before. Um, I texted you. I asked how you did it, and I read a
I
recipe
was gonna say,
online.
I answered your questions, couldn't have been less helpful. I was also
Yeah,
on the run when you were texting me, but
I mean it still got it done. Um, just easy, like just plain old easy. Like all you have to do is just cut the tops off and pull it off, and
yeah, so if you take the time to do the prep the right way, it's really not bad. And it does
yeah,
take a little bit of practice because the first time you're sitting there and you're cutting and like you might have a knife and scissors and you're trimming and cutting and it's like it's just not a
yeah,
smooth process.
yeah. I just
But
used
yeah,
a
I mean,
knife the for all of it
well, I was using a knife. Sorry, I was using the scissors or a pair of scissors that I have
to snip the
because
tops.
to get the tops
Yeah,
so that it would be like more bare. And then sometimes I just don't give a shit.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, I mean, and then the other thing too is like, I think people don't cut down low enough on the chicken or on the drumstick because it's almost like trying to preserve too much. And it's like, no, you have to cut away a fair amount here.
yeah, yeah,
That's why drumsticks are like 99 cents a pound.
yeah. Uh, so yeah, like just like I said, pretty easy. You just cut the tops, you pull it off, then you cut away the rest of it. Um, dry rubbed it, threw it on the smoker. I think I smoked them for an hour, pulled them off, like dunked them in sauce, put them back on for a little bit. I think like a half hour at like 350. And that was it. They were done. They crisped up on the outside. They were pretty solid. So Amy actually said to me that they are superior to chicken wings. And I agree. I think I prefer the lollipop drumsticks to chicken wings.
Don't know if I'm there yet because they're bringing two different things to the table.
Yeah, that's fair.
And
I feel like you just get more too. Like there's more of it. I also prefer dark meat, right? To light meat. Chicken wings are light meat. Drumsticks are dark meat. Um, but sometimes it depends. It honestly it depends, right? Because sometimes you can get chicken wings from somewhere. Like I know McKinnon's has massive chicken wings, but like the chicken wings I get at Market Basket, like they're kind of small, right? So it's like, am I gonna eat like 8 of these and be like, I'm still kind of hungry? Like there's
like I
more
said,
meat on a drumstick.
and that's the thing. It depends. Yes, there is. So it depends on what you're looking for, because if that's what you're looking for, like quantity of meat, sure. But if you're looking for something that's like a couple bites and go, like
Yeah,
no, you got to sit there and commit to eating the lollipop because it's still pretty substantial.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, I guess they do give a couple like they're different things, but I think now just doing it the one time, right? This is the first time I've made them. Um, it came out pretty solid. I enjoyed them. So that's uh that's gonna do it. So thanks for watching. If you're on YouTube, don't forget to hit subscribe up above, hit the thumbs up down below. Subscribe if you're an audio only guy. You get us on Instagram at Sarcasm Speaks Pod. Twitter is sarcasm_speaks. Facebook is sarcasm speaks. The website is sarcasmspeaks.com. You go to the merch store, buy some merch. And then while you're buying some shit, you can check out the sponsors in the show notes below and go support those guys. Support us, support them, get some discounts, and get some great stuff. So until next time, good night, everyone.